guys, it's Eric G from Around the House Show. I wanted to introduce you to one of our new sponsors. Monument Grills was founded by three good friends in Atlanta, Georgia that wanted high-quality, durable grills inspired by iconic monuments. The grills are created for the person who loves to cook and are built to last and to enhance your outdoor cooking experience. What I love is that they are the best quality grills for under $900. So check out the American gas grill experts at monumentgrills.com. I bet you'll love to cook on one like I do. Check out the new standard in outdoor cooking at monumentgrills.com.
It's Around the House.
And so our thought was, as we're looking at this explosion in housing growth, both multifamily and single family, well, man, can we take our quality that we have to, in terms of the weld quality and the fit and finish and all that kind of thing, and can we come to the retail market, to the smaller and medium-sized contractor, and give them that same kind of quality for a price that would be really something they'd be interested in? And that's where the Scafflex idea came up, where it was people were telling us, look, I need something what's like the strength of a traditional 5x5 mason frame, but man, those things are hard to put in the back of my van or my truck here. And so we're like, okay, so we're messing around, and we came up with a way to have one that can break down, and it can be both kind of your standard 5x5 made with the same kind of strength, like 7.
When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to the Around the House Show, the next generation of home improvement. Thanks for joining me today. This episode is brought to you, my friends, over at Monument Grills. If you're looking for a killer barbecue grill, you got to check it out at monumentgrills.com. A handful of guys started this company back in Atlanta, Georgia. Wanted to come up with a premium grill for under $900. Check it out over there. It's tailgate season. You need to add a new barbecue grill to your holiday season. Well, we got a great guest today. We're not talking barbecues, but we're going to talk about safety. And one of my favorite things when I'm working up on my house, we're going to talk a little scaffolding today. We got Guy Williams from Build Frames. Welcome to Around the House.
Thank you, Eric. Glad to see you.
Man, great to see you. You guys have got such an amazing product out there that for inside, outside the house, and I think it's really built for that DIYer to contractor that really needs to be doing stuff out there, doing it easily, and of course, safely.
That's right, Eric. Right. You're referring to our Scafflex product, correct?
You got it.
Yeah. And the Scafflex, we came up with that idea about 2 years ago. Actually, it was developed by our engineering team and our general manager, Kyle Muller. And the idea was to take, a lot of people don't know about Build Frames, but our parent company is North America's largest seller of scaffolding equipment. Primarily deal with the heavier duty commercial and industrial systems that you see in power plants or even around cities. You've seen it, everybody see it, you walk under it, you just don't probably really look at it that closely. And so our thought was, as we're looking at this explosion in housing growth, both multifamily and single family, well, man, can we take our quality that we have to, in terms of the weld quality and the fit and finish and all that kind of thing, and can we come to the retail market, to the smaller and medium-sized contractor, and give them that same kind of quality for a price that would be really something they'd be interested in? And that's where the Scafflex idea came up, where was people were telling us, look, I need something what's like the strength of a traditional 5x5 mason frame, but man, those things are hard to put in the back of my van or my truck here. And so we're like, okay, so we're messing around, and we came up with a way to have one that can break down, and it can be both kind of your standard 5x5 made with the same kind of strength, like 7,400 pounds per leg, and can integrate with most B-size frames. But then you can take the inner rods out, right? And there's some easy snap-on. There's no tools required to do it. And then you can break it down to a 20-inch, almost like a baker unit, right? That you can use interior, right? It's a product we're really proud of. You can tell by my excitement. And it's starting to catch on. And even in stores like Lowe's, which has the product retail-wise exclusively, we're seeing them sell a lot more, just, I would guess you'd call it masonry type frame products and accessories because of this, because they're buying this and they're buying everything that goes with it. So we're really excited about it.
You think about how many contractors out there, when you pull up in front of a home improvement store are driving around in vans, especially in my area on the West Coast here, where I'm rain coming ahead.
Yeah.
And there's nobody running pickups out there without at least a tonneau cover on it.
Yes.
And something trying to put a 5x5 frame in the back of that is against physics in many situations.
Yeah. And it's not just one frame. Usually they're going to have 4 or 8, or it depends on how high they're going or how many different areas on the building. And if you're in California, that's what plaster, isn't there a lot of like plaster on the outside of those buildings, right? And so there's a lot of that used in California. And here in Texas, in my neighborhood, there's a lot of new homes. Every home I look at has this masonry, and it's all over the place, right? Yeah. And so the idea was to give them something that can break down, and it's easy to put in the back of a picture. We did, just as a promo, we took one of those little Cooper mini cars. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah.
And we fit 4 Cooper mini box, or 4 Scafflex boxes in the back of a Cooper mini, right? And then we built, well, we were too lazy to build the 4th one. So we just went 3 layers up just because we didn't want to have to go up that high. But we built it and had it like standing on top of the mini, right? It was cool. Just to make the point, look, you can put all this in this little mini. So, yeah.
That is so smart. And there is nothing more in working around a house that I hate is being 32 feet up on an extension ladder.
Yes.
Trying to do something up there with 2 hands. You're trying to do something up there. Yep. And when you can sit there and put together scaffolding in a matter of minutes, safely, correctly, have all your tools laid out, the products there.
Yep.
There is no comparison as far as, even if you're tied off, just how easy it is and how good it is for your blood pressure.
Yeah. And people will be shocked. I don't have the details. I should have had that data, but the number of serious injuries and even deaths, Eric, every year still from ladder injuries. It's unbelievable. Like it's almost, I'm not besmirching ladder companies. They have their place, but when you really get high up, you really should be on something safer, more like a Baker unit or a 5x5 kind of frame system.
Absolutely. And what I think is so cool is how you guys have developed this to break down. It stores in such a compact area, and it goes together quickly and actually easier, because I hate setting up the normal mason frame by myself out there, right? Your arms aren't long enough. You're trying to balance stuff, and you can actually do it a little bit easier when you set it up this way.
Yeah, we have these snap pins that are just, they're easy. They're not really expensive. And it literally, there's no tools required. It's just pop them out and pop them back in. And with no loss in actual structural integrity. That's the exciting part.
Yeah. And when you get it up there, these things are tight. I don't know about you guys out there that have, in the audience, that have rented like a 5x5 mason frame. You go down to your rental place. It's covered in about another additional 40 or 50 pounds of concrete when you get it all set up, or mortar. And so you're putting up aluminum planks up there that have literally another inch of mud on them.
Yes.
And you're up there trying to make this stuff go together. It's bent up a little bit. Yep. Have your own stuff. Have it where you can take care of it. Have it where you know where it is. Yep. And you're not wasting 2 hours trying to go down to the rental store to get something picked up.
That's a great point. And a lot of folks are, maybe it's just them and 1 or 2 employees, and they're operating out of a garage, right? Or a really small area, or you don't have to have that much space in your storage area for this thing. You can actually, a lot of customers we talk to, they'll break it down and then take the piece that's the main portion of the frame that's squared, and they'll just hang that up on the wall on some frame. So it's not really taking any floor space. And it's easy for one person to handle, whereas a 5x5 frame, you can do it, but it's like jerks your shoulders and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just awkward to deal with. It's just super awkward to deal with. And then you guys came out with all the accessories that work with this. So you've got the rollers, you've got the feet, you've got the safety bars, you've got all the stuff that you need to make this a easily workable and safe set of scaffolding. Yeah,
if you think about it, being North America's largest seller of scaffolding equipment in the industrial and large commercial space, that's what we do, right? So we have all of that. So this was like, oh, okay, we just need to make a version that's maybe a little bit lighter and easier to carry around, which we have. We've got the outriggers if you want to go up really high. So you have those, and then just the heavy duty casters that you would need for this kind of system. And then, of course, your safety railing and all that. So it's a complete masonry B frame. People use different frame and brace. It depends on what part of the country you're from, but it's a complete system that's available, and you can get it right here. We're in I think 1,200 Lowe's stores. It's available today. You can buy it online, or you can go right to your Lowe's store and pull it right out the shelf.
Yeah, I was in Lowe's probably last month walking through there, and there's a contractor kind of poking around at it. And I just looked at him and I go, will you just put it in your truck? I did, and it's awesome. You'll love it. And
Around the House, we'll be right back with more from Guy Williams and Build Frames after we return. Don't change that dial. Guys, it's Eric G from Around the House Show. I wanted to introduce you to one of our new sponsors. Monument Grills was founded by three good friends in Atlanta, Georgia that wanted high-quality, durable grills inspired by iconic monuments. The grills are created for the person who loves to cook and are built to last and to enhance your outdoor cooking experience. What I love is that they are the best quality grills for under $900. So check out the American Gas Grill experts at monumentgrills.com. I bet you'll love to cook on one like I do. Check out the new standard in outdoor cooking at monumentgrills.com. Hey guys, it's Eric G, and I have a special offer for you. Do you want to get the podcast a couple days early? How about extended content that isn't in the typical podcast? Maybe you want to check out all the back episodes of the show. And I got a special deal for the first 10 days are free. I want to personally invite you to be an Around the House insider. For about $4 a month, you can get exclusive extended episodes, early access to the weekend show, and exclusive access to me, Eric G, for project questions or comments. Check on the link on your podcast player in the show notes, or head to aroundthehouseonline.com and look for the join here button. Make sure and sign up today. As always, thanks for tuning in to Around the House.
What's up? This is Sticks It In Ya.
And Satchel from Steel Panther. And you are listening to
Around the House with Eric G.
Yeah.
We love Eric G, and you should too.
1987, I never want to leave you.
Welcome back to the Around the House Show, the next generation of home improvement. Thanks for joining me today. If you're just joining us on the radio, we've been talking with Guy Williams about a new kind of scaffolding that is perfect for the DIYer and, of course, contractor out there that folds up. You can fit it in a van, in a smaller truck. It's a really easy one to work with. Now let's get back to Guy Williams and Build Frames.
Masonry B frame. People use different frame and brace. It depends on what part of the country you're from, but it's a complete system that's available. And you can get it right here. We're in, I think, 1,200 Lowe's stores. It's available today. You can buy it online, or you can go right to your Lowe's store and pull it right out the shelf.
Yeah, I was in Lowe's probably last month walking through there, and there's a contractor kind of poking around at it. And I just looked at him and I go, will you just put it in your truck? I did, and it's awesome. You'll love it. And he's really, I'm like, just do it, man. Just do it. And he was loading up as I walked away, but it's just such a great system, and it's something I definitely believe in. And it makes kind of those tall projects fun again for me, tackling projects here for my TV show and stuff. Yeah. Because for me, it's great because I can set up two sections next to each other. My camera guy's got a place that's safe to work on.
Yep.
And I've got something there to work on. And if I'm working on the roof, I can set up multiple sections there. So I have just a work area across the whole thing right there. And I can set it up in 20 minutes. All of that. It's so fast.
There's a reason I challenge everyone to listen to this. If you drive around, because there's so much building going on everywhere, right? You just drive around and see almost every home that there's basic 5x5 masonry frames of different types, walkthroughs, the typicals, and they're everywhere, right? And so the idea here was to, let's come up something that's affordable, that's super strong with tight tolerances, can break down, go into small places, and then give all the extra stuff that needs to go with it. And I'm hoping 3-4 years from now, you're going to see entire fleets for some of these contractors where they just convert over, because it's so much less space in their vans and their trucks that once everybody that sees it, you try to explain it, it's a little hard, but when you show it to them and they put their hands on it, this makes perfect sense, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And you guys have just so many great systems in here. And then you have that, I forget what you guys call it, but that interior set that breaks down so easily that you can just put anywhere inside the house.
Yeah, and so the Scafflex will break down to be the size of what we call a baker. You're referring to a baker scaffold, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So it'll break down, but we also sell the traditional bakered scaffold, which we're very proud of. Yep. Right? It's your traditional. It's 1,100 pound capacity. We also have we were one of the first ones to have a climb through hatch on the inside.
Yeah, I saw that and I was blown away. I was like, wow, this is easy.
Yeah, and then we're also an anti-slip deck, which a lot of people copy that. And then also the rungs on ours, a lot of our competition use that basically tube steel, right? As you're stepping up. So we changed to a square tube that actually it's actually an anti-slip perforated metal. You've seen it, like a grating, right? Yeah. Industrial grating. And so I think that's been very, very popular. But the thing that's different about our interior baker is the tight tolerances. I challenge anybody to go get ours, set it up, get our competitions, Werner, Middleton, whoever it is, and get on top of each one and just shake it around, move around on it. Be safe, obviously.
Sure.
And I think you're going to find the tolerance in ours are considerably tighter.
I tell you what, it passed my test here because again, I was putting up some very cool acrylic panels, and I had my camera guy up on that baker rack on there, and he's like, that's going to be they're always too flimsy. I'm like, not this one.
No, it's not.
And he shot up there, no problem. And you got to have something that's stable. And if you guys built that any closer in tolerance, you'd actually fight it to go together. It goes together super well, but it does not move. If it's moving, it's the substrate you're on. It's not the rack.
Well, we have and our engineering team, they're wonderful people. And so we're always we're fighting perfect versus it works in the field. Right. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, there was that back and forth of, okay, this is perfect, Kevin, but gosh, I can't get this thing apart. And there's that, it's a little bit, it's science, but it's an art there and what's going to work with it. Kind of talking to different contractors. Yeah. Glad you noticed that because that actually is very important. Very important.
Yeah. You guys really thread the needle with that. And again, what I like about it is I can carry it through a doorway without worrying about banging stuff up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the cool thing with that.
Yeah. It'll roll right through a standard door frame. Yeah. And people have seen those for years too. And then I think a lot of homeowners, we make I don't know if we sent you one of those, but we make a 4 and 5 foot mini, right? There's a mini version, right? And and those are nice to have around the house as well. Not like an industrial contractor related, but just homeowners, for little projects, they're great to have around the house as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, they're great. And it's after using scaffolding in the commercial world where I was working, that really moved early into my own DIY projects because I'm like, why am I out here struggling with step ladders, extension ladders? My extension ladder hasn't came out in probably a year because I'd much rather set up a set of scaffolding than get the dang ladder out because it's just, why am I going to go out there and put myself into a bad position?
Yeah. About the only thing I use the ladder for really consistently is putting the star on top of the Christmas tree.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, that works for that. Other than that, I don't like to get on that ladder. Yeah.
And how tall can you get this stuff when you're putting up the build frames when you're working outside out there? It seems, boy, you get up 4 sections, no problem with that. It's stable.
4 sections, no problem. Same as industrial scaffolding. We can. Okay. There's a safety OSHA ratio of how big the base is to the up as far high as you go, so that's the limiting factor. But typically, for the B-side frames, you can get seriously high with those. You've seen those in the city probably.
10 stories up, right? It's like crazy.
People are typically going 4 max with the baker typically.
Yeah. Bakers, I don't know. The bakers are great, but I don't like to get too tall on those just because of the footprint on those. It just physics rules the world there to me.
Rules the world at that point, exactly.
It's so funny. I love the safety that we have for all of these. And then you look at some of the job sites over in Southeast Asia and stuff where they're using bamboo and tying it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, you could not catch me on that stuff.
And they don't think anything about it, right? It's yes, right? But no, we thank goodness here in this country, they do have a lot of good rules, and it wasn't like that all the time 100 years ago. That's a lot of people are much safer today. And again, we pride ourselves on quality and taking care of our customers because we realize that there are people up every single day on making a living, getting done with or doing some things around the house with this, and it's got to be safe, right? It's got to be spot on, and that drives us. Our little saying at our company is that we're driven by service, but we're defined by quality, and we really try to keep that in mind with every product.
No question. Yeah, when that stuff showed up and I started putting it together, I just had this big smile on my face, going, "Wow, this was so well thought out."
Well, thank you.
You guys have done a great job. And those spring clips, oh my gosh, that makes it easy.
Yeah, they do. I can't take it. Again, the engineering team here is just fantastic, and they love challenges, right? Okay, you want to do what? Well, and then first they'll hem and haw, and they're like, well, and then like next thing you know, they come back to you 2 days later. We got to figure it out. Look at this, and 3D printing has changed the world. Like they can just look at this. We actually printed it up, and I always just smile at them like, how'd you think of that? My mind doesn't work that way, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's that crack engineering and design team that comes out and pulls the rabbit out of the hat for you.
Exactly.
Around the House will be right back after these important messages. Don't change that dial. We're just having fun with some scaffolding. It's Eric G from Around the House. Are you tired of low quality water in your home? Do you have bad tasting water? How about chemicals, minerals, and a hard water scale tearing up your bathrooms, appliances, and your water heater? I have a great solution for you. It's time you stop the damage and check out King Water Filtration. This water treatment system takes care of every drop of water that comes into your home. It uses no salt, no expense filters to change, and it's made right here in the USA. Plus, it prevents hard water scale. To find out more information, head to kingwaterfiltration.com, and if you use promo code ERIC-23, it will give you $1,000 off MSRP with a discount on a filter that will resolve those water quality issues. Don't miss out on this amazing sale on a product made right here in the USA at kingwaterfiltration.com. That's kingwaterfiltration.com. And don't forget promo code ERIC-23. Are you a small business owner? Has business slowed down? How is your website? Does it look like it's seen better days and those are behind it? It's time you fix it with SciPipe Designs. My friend Johnny that you've heard on this show each week, yeah, that's him playing in the background, is my go-to web designer that understands how to get your website and web traffic where it needs to be, and that's making you money. If you want personalized service at a much lower price than those big companies out there, check him out at sitehypedesigns.com. If you want a rockstar website to turn your business around, you gotta hire the rockstar. Just wait till you see my website coming soon. It's absolutely amazing. Contact Johnny at sitehypedesigns.com before it costs you even more money. Let's get that business turned around.
Hey, this is Ron Keel, the Metal Cowboy from Keel, the Ron Keel Band and Steeler. We are rocking Around the House with Eric G.
Raise your fist, make your stand.
Welcome back to the Around the House show, the next generation of home improvement. I'm Eric G. If you want to find out more about us, head over to aroundthehouseonline.com and make sure you follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, our Around the House Nation Facebook closed group, which is great fun over there, as well as TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. We got a lot of different stuff over there. This hour is brought to you by our friends at Money McGrills. Check them out at moneymcgrills.com. Now let's get back and wrap things up with Guy Williams. Let's talk scaffolding and finish it up with Build Frames.
So what's the best place for people to find these? Because I know Lowe's is such a great place. I see it in mine all the time, but this is definitely something that people should be looking at out there. Even if you're a homeowner and you're like, hey, I got to do siding and a bunch of restoration work on the side of my house. This should be going in the garage someplace.
For Build Frames, right now, we're focused on supporting Lowe's. And I think you can go to our Build Frames website, but the best place is to either go to the Lowe's store, your local Lowe's store, or just go online to lowes.com. And look up scaffolding and you'll find us. Look up the name Build Frames and you'll see our full product line there. And
that is great.
Coming up in November, Eric, because I got to make sure I don't forget this or my marketing team will kill me. We have a promo going on for Scafflex. It's $100 off. Yeah, and so we're really excited to do that in partnership with Lowe's, and they're expecting quite a bit of volume. They've really stocked up, so don't worry, there'll be plenty of units on the shelf.
And the cool thing is that you're stocked. If some contractor comes in there and loads up a couple trucks with the stuff, a couple days later, it'll be back on the shelf again. So it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Lowe's. They're a machine, buddy. They know how to do that. So it's been very
They sure
impressive
do.
to work with them. Yep.
So guys, is there anything we missed here? Because I tell you what, I just love what you guys are doing. And that promo is going to be killer for everybody out there trying to save a little bit of money, because who's not right now?
Yeah, exactly. The cost of things just going up and up. It's great to see something actually on sale for once.
Exactly.
No, I just have people stress, be very careful about what you buy. Look at weld quality, look at fit and finish, right? Because those things, when you start getting up on top of it, if things aren't tightly done and made, and you start having some wiggle, it can get dangerous, right? And always be careful how you're setting your scaffolding. And if you're on uneven ground, you've got to have your leveling jacks, right? And you're being very careful about that as well. And always follow your OSHA regulations. But we're very excited, Eric. I want to thank you for doing this. We're not really all that great yet at the whole podcast thing, because we're more of an industrial company, but we're very excited about this. We love to see our name and our product out there in the stores, and it's really a rush for us.
Man, I can personally attest this stuff, guys, is solid quality. It is better than anything else that I've ever used. And it is something that is used on my projects around here all the time. And I've got a personal set myself. So you guys got to check these things out and head down to your local Lowe's and throw them on a cart and get them out in your truck and get them to your job site. Guy, thanks for taking the time, brother, today. I really appreciate it. You guys are killing it out there.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it, buddy.
Man, guys, I tell you what, I picked these up here a few months ago, and they have made my outdoor projects so much easier. When I'd have to get up on that extension ladder to get up and do stuff, now I can set up some scaffolding and really work hands-free in a much safer environment. And I tell you what, it's a little bit better than my nerves. And you know something, with my knees and the problems I've been having, being able to stand on something solid and flat is a really big deal. Of course, there's a lot of different things that you want to do, of course, to make things safe around when you're doing projects. And I wanted to talk about those here for the rest of the hours here, rest of these segments here on the show, because safety is such a big thing, especially this time of year. And it doesn't matter if you're up putting up those Christmas lights or you're working inside the shop. There's some things that I really like out there that are good for being safe. First off, one of my favorite ones that we've talked about in the past, and this is really kind of with Christmas season coming up with the Christmas lights and stuff, any of those holiday lights that you're putting up. One of my favorite one is Lockjaw Ladder Grip. What this is, if you're getting that extension ladder up, this attaches the extension ladder to your gutter system so the ladder won't slide off. And you can get up there. And of course, I mean, if you're up there doing stupid stuff, you could pull the gutter off the side of the building, but it's going to keep it from sliding around, which means you've got something much safer. And if you're getting up on that extension ladder, it is super cool to use, and I really like it. And it's something that's definitely worth it if you're out shopping around. It could be a great holiday gift idea, and that is Lockjaw Ladder Grip. And for a safety device at about $129 on Amazon, it's not a bad deal. Now, one of the smartest things you can do if you're getting up on your roof, especially if you've got a 2-story house, single story, I can make the argument, you know, OSHA has their standards, but for you as a homeowner getting up, it is nice to be able to tie off. And that's something that I've done here on my house. And I have a few more that I want to do, but I'm putting on a full fall protection system around my house because I've got all these shed roofs. I've got high angles. By the time I get up there with the vaulted ceilings and stuff, in some of these things, I'm 26, 28 feet off the ground from my feet. And it's something nice to be able to get up there, especially here. We're 6 months out of the year in the Pacific Northwest. That roof can be a little slimy, a little slippery. And I think fall protection, and what you can do is you can jump on line or head down to your local safety store. I always like to shop local if we can. If you've got an industrial safety place down there, you can buy the stainless steel rings that you can actually get up there and mount permanently on your roof. And there's just a peace of mind. When I was building this patio cover that I did here a couple months ago for Around the House Northwest, my weekly television show that I do, that was really one of those things that it was nice because I could lean out. I was on the ladder, I was reaching, and I could reach a little bit without putting myself in danger. It's not that I was doing anything dangerous. It's not like I was leaning way off the edge of a ladder or something, but to be able to hang out the side here a little bit and reach out and do it in a safe manner is pretty cool. Now, when we're getting into projects, one of the things that I really like are good safety glasses. And I tell you what, these things that I've been out looking for pairs of them, and I've got, you know, every brand I think of them, the major ones out there. One of my favorite ones in the shop, and you see me wearing them on my TV show all the time, but they are I-form safety glasses. And they have ones that are tinted. They have ones that are clear. They have stuff that has a foam thing around them for when you're working with the metal or you're getting chips of stuff around you. That is one of those things that can be really handy. And I tell you what, when I was out working last weekend, I was out jamming out at the Coast House, knocking down concrete. And I had a concrete pad out there that we were tackling. And I tell you what, these guys, when they did this concrete, a little bit excessive, should have brought in a little more dirt. But I guess they didn't want it to move. But I don't think for a front patio that you built, there shouldn't be 9 inches of concrete out there. That thing was absolutely insane. So it took a little bit more to bust it up. But the crazy one was I had this kind of, well, because it's in the sand at the beach, they didn't dig down very deep because it wouldn't have mattered that much. But they built this footing for the fence where the post came up out of that and it went across the whole front of the house. Not only was that thing about 8 inches deep, but they put in 1 inch or 1.25 inches. We're debating on what it was because it was a little corroded. But in the middle of this concrete, I didn't get a mic out. It looked like it was at least 1 inch. It was either 1 inch cable for a crane or it's 1.25 inch drag line from the ocean. And I tell you what, that stuff was a nightmare to work with. Even good metal cutting blades, you'd get one cut, maybe two, and it was done. Just trying to take this stuff out. And that heavy cable was running through it. And my safety glasses and my PPE on that day with all that jackhammering got a good workout because it had chips. This concrete was so hard. And, happy I have more than one set of glasses. I had more than one bouncing off my face and saved me some serious damage. So when you're out working around, I hate to be that guy, but safety glasses are a really good one, and get something that you love to wear that's comfortable. And these don't fog up. So I was out there in the rain and no problem. That and some good gloves. The one thing it won't do though is help with those hurt muscles. Because I tell you what, I was pretty sore from running a jackhammer for about 5.5 hours out there. But we got the job done, hauled off about 3 yards of busted up concrete. And I still probably have another yard sitting there to get out the next trip I have. All right, when we come back, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite tools for safety. New stuff you can put around the shop just as soon as we return. Don't go anywhere.
If I could dream.
Are you a small business owner? Has business slowed down? How is your website? Does it look like it's seen better days and those are behind it? It's time you fix it with SciPipe Designs. My friend Johnny that you've heard on this show each week, yeah, that's him playing in the background, is my go-to web designer that understands how to get your website and web traffic where it needs to be. And that's making you money. If you want personalized service at a much lower price than those big companies out there, check him out at sitehypedesigns.com. If you want a rockstar website to turn your business around, you gotta hire the rockstar. Just wait till you see my website coming soon. It's absolutely amazing. Contact Johnny at sitehypedesigns.com before it costs you even more money. Let's get that business turned around.
No, I'm never gonna leave you by the wayside. Not this time.
Hey guys, it's Eric G from Around the House Show. I wanted to introduce you to one of our new sponsors. Monument Grills was founded by 3 good friends in Atlanta, Georgia that wanted high-quality, durable grills inspired by iconic monuments. The grills are created for the person who loves to cook and are built to last and to enhance your outdoor cooking experience. What I love is that they are the best quality grills for under $900. So check out the American Gas Grill experts at monumentgrills.com. I bet you'll love to cook on one like I do. Check out the new standard in outdoor cooking at monumentgrills.com.
All right.
Welcome back to the Around the House Show, the next generation of home improvement. I'm Eric G. Thanks for joining me today. If you want to find out more about us or just track me down, if you want to send me a message, head over to aroundthehouseonline.com and we can really help you out over there. And of course, find us on social media, all those different places that you can find us: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, Even I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me over there. Now, this segment is brought to you by our friends over at Monument Grills. I will say they've got a big sale coming up, so you might want to keep an eye out for that later on this month. Find out more about them, head over to monumentgrills.com. We've been talking about safety here around the house, around the job site, that kind of stuff. And it's an important subject to go knock out and be careful with. And sometimes those things go sideways. Sometimes even using the right safety gear, things go badly. And I got hurt pretty badly earlier this year. I was walking across my shop and I stumbled just a little bit. Didn't trip, didn't hit the ground, but just you catch your foot a little bit and you stumble. Well, I was wearing a carbon fiber toe Keen utility shoe. I was wearing a softer shoe. I was wearing the men's Kenton, which is their ESD work shoe with the carbon fiber toe. Now, here's one thing I learned about with my feet, and I'm never doing this again. I am never going to be wearing any kind of a flexible shoe with a carbon fiber toe. And I'm not going to get too graphic here, but when that shoe bent, the carbon fiber toe of that shoe dislocated 2 bones in my foot because it pinched it down out the bottom of my foot. And so that has taken about 3 months to heal now. So I'm finally back at it, not wearing that crazy boot around. But make sure if you're out there looking for footwear, no matter what brand you're looking at, be very careful that the shoe is not, or boot is not too flexible. And if that carbon fiber toe is not correctly placed with that flexibility, and you stumble or you push yourself a little bit where you're bending your foot more than you want to, bad things can happen. And that's what happened to me. And so be very careful out there with doing stuff, because sometimes flexible is not what you're looking for. And that was exactly me. I've gone back to wearing heavier boots and stuff like that just because I want to have that protection. And I don't want my protection to hurt me. So that's a big one right there. Now, one of my favorite tools that I've gotten this last year, and I tell you what, it is super cool, and that is SawStop. My problem with table saws, I don't have a lot of room. So I don't want to have a big table saw kicking around, because my shop space is a small 2-car garage, and I just have enough stuff in here with filming. When I'm filming stuff for my show, half of the garage is camera gear. So I don't have that much space when it comes down to it. So I've got one of the SawStop, the CTS 120 A60 compact table saws. And I tell you what, that thing is a monster. And you get that SawStop security. If you don't know what a SawStop is, this is a smart table saw. And it will, instead of taking off a finger, their patented safety system stops on contact with the skin. So what happens is I don't know if you've seen it online. I tell you what, there's some great videos out there, but they do a hot dog test. They put a hot dog on the table saw, and as they go to push it into it, where the blade nicks it, it grounds, like how a touch faucet works. And then there is a spring and centrifugal force system that dives that blade down into a soft block of aluminum, and it stops it masterfully quick. It is crazy how fast that thing works. So you will not, using a SawStop, be using something that's going to take your finger off or worse. And so it's really cool. And it's not yes, it's more expensive. Something, if you think about it, I don't know what your deductible is. If you jump on Amazon, for instance, and pick that up for $8.99, that's what it is over there today when I looked. If I go over and look at the Skill table saw, okay, same kind of thing. That's $4.49. But you start looking at some of the other table saws out there, it starts to get a little bit expensive for those table saws compared to the Bosch. I love the Bosch one, $4.49. So you start to see what that looks like. That's $5.99 for their other one. So you got a few $100 more, which I tell you what is going to be a lot cheaper than what it costs to do your insurance deductible. Now, I would recommend getting the saw and the saw folding stand, unless you're going to be using it on the back of a truck or something like that. The saw folding stand is probably one of the best folding stands, and so you're about $1,000 out the door. But unless you want to be like your older contractor buddies that are missing a finger or two, that's probably the best way to go. And it's a great working tool. So you just got to be careful working wet wood through it, metals, things like that, and you'll be fine. And yeah, that is a plug-in table saw. That is not a battery-powered one. That's funny. I got that one, and I have my Milwaukee one, which I don't use a lot with. But being a plug-in and a saw stop, I just figured something. It's going to be a lot heavier duty for what I'm doing, and that safety is just what's solid. And so that's really where it pays off, is that added bit of safety to make sure that, well, I got all my fingers, so I'm not getting hurt on the job site, no matter what I'm doing. And I'm not saying you don't have to be careful, but no sense having to buy a blade and the replacement cartridge for it, because that will ruin that, but a heck of a lot cheaper than losing fingers. Now, when it comes to safety, I'll be the first person to say I'm still somewhat scarred from wearing masks, and I get it. After 2020 and all that, we're all tired of it. But when you're working out in the shop, one of my favorite ones to use, and this is all I use for dust masks, is RZ Mask. Check these guys out, rzmask.com. And they are who I use, and I've been using for years. And they just came out with their new RZ M3 mask. So it's a 3-strap design, and it gives you 99% filtration, up to 50% breathability, and no fog technology. So it's really cool. So it's got this active carbon filter, and it comes with the high flow replacement filters, which is good. And I like that they fit well. So you're actually going to be breathing clean air, but you can wear safety goggles with these without just absolutely getting those all fogged up, which is totally cool. So they've got them in different sizes. So depending on what you're doing, and it is a really great way to be able to have safe projects out there, especially on things like demo day or working in the shop with wood. That's one thing that I'm really starting to realize now, that I have to be very careful working with wood. Is, I don't know about you guys, but I'll be working in the wood shop here doing some stuff, and all of a sudden, if I don't get cleaned up, I get rashes on my arms, my face, my neck, any of those places where that stuff's been sticking down. And obviously, I'm getting some sensitivity to those woods, which means even more so I shouldn't be breathing that, because if it's going that way on my skin outside, I don't need that going on my lungs inside. And so one of the things that I like is these masks. I've used them for years, and you're just replacing the inside filter, and it's a really good way to do it. So you can breathe easy, and it's one of those things that they build them nice, and they're just designed for just comfort, which is cool. So it's really, really designed for never fogging up those glasses. And so they've got other models as well. You could take a look at that. They've got it's active carbon, so it's meant for respiratory protection. They have different designs, different styles, all those different things. And I really, really like it. So they've got ones for hunting that you can wear out that'll keep you warm. They've got all these different ones out there. So I really like what they do, and it's just comfort stuff, and it's good for wearing out. They have them so that you can have where they breathe out, where they've got a little thing to let the air escape, or you can put plugs in them. So it's just really good stuff to be using around the shop. So something to take a look at. I really like RZ Mask. I've just worked with those guys for years. Nobody's paying for me for these tips, guys. So this isn't like some paid segment here. This is just stuff that I use around my shop that I really like, and it's really nice for having around there. And there's one other thing I wanted to mention up here before, just to get myself cleaned up, which is really handy. When I'm out working in the shop or I'm out doing TV, I've got a bag of these, and I have these in my backpack all the time. And you can pick these up at Lowe's or online, but they're made by Duke Cannon, and it's their cold shower face and body towels. And what they are is you rip them up, and they've got that kind of lanolin stuff or whatever that makes it feel nice and cool. But when I'm out hot or covered in sawdust or anything else, and I need to wipe myself down and get my face and arms cleaned up, these things work so well for just getting you all cleaned up and ready to go. So take a look at those. They are just good to have around, have in the car for cleanup, and they're just refreshing. So it's almost like putting a cold towel on your face. And Duke Cannon cold shower. I just picked up another bag to go back in the truck, so I have it. And that is something that has been really handy for those projects for cleanup. And between that and cleaning up tools, I tell you what, I don't use them for that. But I use the crocodile cloth for cleanup around the shop, for cleaning up the extension cords, running them through, all those things. Those are great handy things you can do for cleaning up around the shop, around the house, out in the barbecue. Yes, they make ones for barbecue. They work really well. All right, everybody, that's the end of the show. Thanks for tuning in to Around the House. If you want to find out more about us, head to aroundthehouseonline.com. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey, it's Eric G. with Around the House. Are you looking to grow your business? Need a spokesperson for your company? Maybe an MC for an upcoming trade show? Or maybe you want to up your game and shoot some promotional videos? My team of experts would love to chat with you. Head to aroundthehouseonline.com and fill out the Contact Us form, and we'll set something up. Thanks for listening to Around the House.